The Ecclesiologie of Sedevacantism and the Society of St. Pius X is identical practically. It is a Protestant ecclesiology because they've reduced the church to those who simply profess the true faith without regard to whether they are in the juridical structure of the church with a canonical mission from the church. And so again, the ecclesiology of the Society and of the Sedevacantists is identical. It is Protestant ecclesiology, ultimately. They may profess that there is a juridical structure and a hierarchy, okay, but they can't reconcile their profession with the fact that they're not part of the structure. And what we would say is that there is a disconnect between the speculative and practical intellect of the Society and Sedevacantists. On the one hand, they will profess that the church is a visible hierarchical institution and mission is divine and comes from Christ. But on the other hand, that's the speculative, right? So they're professing what is true, but on the practical level, they don't believe that they need to be a part of that visible structure with a visible mission. The only difference between the Sedevacantists and the Society is that the Sedevacantists, even though they acknowledge there is a primacy, they don't believe anybody is currently occupying the chair, whereas the Society believes there is an occupant, but they don't have to obey him. They have practically repudiated his authority, you see? So the ecclesiology is Protestant. And if you go back to the Protestant revolt and you read the likes of Calvin and Zwingli, those men were zealous for the faith. I mean, they were, liturgical. They were very strict, very doctrinal, just like we see today. You see, but their zeal led them out of the church, just like the Sades and the Society. In terms of mission, Andrew nailed it. It is a matter of divine law that clergy must have mission. I mean, Christ, the Father sends Christ, Christ sends the apostles, they send their successors. And so we say in the church says that, for a bishop to licitly, that is lawfully exercise his ministry, he must have a canonical mission from the Pope. He must receive ordinary jurisdiction from the Pope as a matter of divine law. Then the priests who serve the bishop, right, they are then incarnated, it's called, incarnated into or attached to that bishop, where they participate in, they're like co-ministers in the bishop's ministry, and hence that's part of the canonical mission. But that's not part of, ecclesiastical law regulates that process, but it's truly fundamentally a matter of divine law. It's the way that Christ set up the church. And so when we hear the arguments, there's a necessity, there's crisis, necessity never circumvents or supplants the divine law, because the divine law foresees all things. Okay, necessity can never be used to circumvent the fact that a clergy must be part of and sent by the Roman Catholic Church to licitly minister in Christ's church.